Len, Pam and Mary still live in their own homes, but they all need home care to maintain independent living. "16 months earlier, Len had a stroke. For a while, he lost hearing, sight, speech and movement.
Oh, it was terrible. Absolutely shocking. Because I couldn't do anything, and as I said before, I relied on everybody.
I used to walk around here with my head right down, never saw people. Aisling talked for me, sort of.
Pam lost her independence and self-esteem as a child growing up in an orphanage.
Oh, you was just a sheep. You just, I was number 17 and I followed number 16 and 18 followed me, and it was just, wasn't a good life.
When I got my arthritis, I felt I'd lost my independence. And I thought it shouldn't be happening to me.
Before the stroke happened, I was working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, night shift, day shift, whatever I could do. Independence to me is getting around, driving where I want to go.
Physiotherapy is helping to restore his ability to move about and function normally.
One of the things he always talked about once he started here was getting back to being able to drive. That opportunity for him to be able to drive himself here and not have to have that reliance on someone else to bring him is a really big deal. And you know, for all of us, I think that sense of self-worth and self-esteem is important, you know, to be able to do things for yourself, you know, to feel that you have that freedom to go where you want, when you want. For him, you know, that independence is probably the most important thing.
After years of strict discipline and control in her small world at the orphanage, Pam grew up frightened of people and public places.
I lived at it as a hermit. I don't know neighbours. I've never had a friend. And I was just at home. I got my mail at dark time and all that stuff. But then I met Aisling.
Independence means giving someone the skills and choice to be able to make decisions for themselves, to be able to choose what it is that they want to do, what they want to say, how they want to achieve that.
For Mary, fear of becoming dependent on family and others made her determined to hang on to what she thought she was losing.
Well, I think I've always been independent because my dad asked me to go and live with it, and I said no. As long as I can stop here, I'll be all right. I could go to I could go with Teresa. They've got places I can go to. But that day, when it comes, I'll probably have Alzheimer's.
As Mary's arthritis slowed her down, she'd become dependent on her family for daily needs.
The family has always been the one to do the shopping, and they go and get her groceries, and they choose what they think Mum needs.
Independence means being in charge of my life.
So as a home care worker, to understand independence would be to firstly understand that it is different things to different people. And while we think of the basic needs in the home as being independent, as in being able to feed yourself, as to bathe yourself, as to clean by yourself, that is not all independence. It's also about freedom of choice. So if they choose to want to go out, then they need to be able to find a way to do that without maybe accessing family or friends.
Helping older people stay at home to maintain or regain independence does not happen by magic. It takes strategic planning and close communication.
we have to show them we respect them as people, that we treat them with empathy and integrity, which are the values of ECH, and then to a point where they might be willing and open enough to speak to us about those other things that really do concern them, and then they let you in a little bit at a time.
One of the ways that we help people in terms of their independence is setting goals for what it is that they want to achieve.
Len's turning point, from being a dependent invalid to fighting for his freedom, came when authorities cancelled his driver's licence because of his brain injury.
And that's what made me think, I'm not putting up with this, I'm going to get my licence back.
Well, initially we sat down for the first session to do the assessment, obviously had all the paperwork from Hampstead and the physios there, and just talked about, what it was that he really wanted to do. And obviously the three things for him was, he wanted to be able to drive his car, wanted to go back to work, and he wanted to be able to walk without, having to use the wheelchair at all.
When you're in a case like this, if you don't have a goal, you don't get anywhere. They actually motivate me, so maybe, hopefully, that I can get out
Len's
of my
ambition
chair
to
and start
walk is
walking
driven by his
and
grandchildren.
walk with my little grandkids. That to me would be...
One of the things he always talked about once he started here was getting back to being able to drive. And for a lot of people, when they've had a stroke, that's a big deal. And that was probably for Len the main thing that he wanted to achieve.
I think as a coordinator, it's my job to sit and listen to what the client's needs are. It's not about taking what they want and then changing it to fit our program. It's our program fit.
His determination, his desire, I suppose, kind of drove the three of us to keep working through ideas, and we came up with a number of things with the wedge and the towel to help with sliding it in so it didn't damage the car, but also made it easier in terms of the mechanics of lifting it and getting it into the back of the boot.
My next goal, which hopefully I can do, this chair, I want to get rid of it. I want to start walking in and out of houses, cars, come here, no chair. After that, hopefully I can get around outside home and do my normal things like I would like to do. Cut the lawn, do a bit of painting, a bit of pruning, a bit of cleaning, perhaps go shopping or something. All those little things that I lost that you just take for granted.
ECH, I guess, promotes independence by working alongside our clients and partnering them, working together to set a goal, like in Mary's case, that we want to get you back into the water.
I must do something active. Walking is my aim, to be able to walk without my walking frame. Because I have got very bad arthritis and it's osteo, and the doctor says there's no cure. But I think there is, because, if you exercise, you must use it or you lose it. Yes.
It's so easily compromised, that independence, as you get older, that this program allows you to maybe not feel that it is so compromised, and then adjust your well-being to actually maintaining your independence as much as you can, because that's all we all want.
Teresa suggested it to me, getting into the water, and she arranged it all. She said, with your arthritis, I think that the hydrotherapy would do you in the world of good. I said, yes, it would. I get a better night's sleep, and it seems to loosen the joints, and I can walk better. Everything's better.
He's had a ramp put in and rails so he can practice his walking at home and do his exercise at home. Has made a massive difference.
I had a guy from Birch come down to help me in the shed, my work shed, and he cleaned it all out for me, rearranged everything so I could use it in the wheelchair. So I'm getting all that confidence back again.
It could be about helping them make their cupboards ergonomically correct so they could then reach for cleaning items a little bit easier. Their brooms and their mops and buckets. So we may choose to help them with that.
We had broken pavers through here, and it did bother me because Mum taking the clothes to the line, it was all uneven. So when they put down this non-slip grid flat surface, I knew for sure that Mum would have no drama getting to the clothesline. Yeah. Much more safety conscious now.
Because he's really just got the use of the right arm to be able to lift a wheelchair, which weighs between 10 and 14 kilos. His determination, his desire, I suppose, kind of drove the three of us to keep working through ideas, and we came up with a number of things with the wedge and the towel to help with sliding it in so it didn't damage the car, but also made it easier in terms of the mechanics of lifting it and getting it into the back of the boot. So yeah, he's done an amazing job with
Pam's overall goal was to make a friend, so we broke it down into small achievable parts that were sort of measurable for Pam. We made a date to come down to the Jack Young Centre and have lunch. Included in that goal was to make some conversation with some people. So I made sure that there was some people there she could have that conversation with, apart from myself.
When I first came here, I met a friend through Aisling, and Aisling brought both of us down to here. But what I really liked about Aisling, she just didn't say, right, I've got to go now, I've got an appointment at 9 o'clock, I'm off. No, none of that. She sat with us, she made sure we were comfortable.
Confronting her conflicting fears of being alone and of being with other people, Pam's enjoyment of life was changing. She began to lose her childhood dread of being punished at the orphanage if she dared to speak out of turn. Pam's big break came when she was asked to volunteer as a barista 3 days a week at the centre.
It's 3 days from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock, and so that then became Pam's role. Pam also got a name badge, and it was probably the biggest achievement she felt in terms of what she actually got back, because it had her name on it. So Pam was no longer number 17 from the orphanage. Pam was Pam, the barista who volunteered and was quite a significant member of the Jack Young Centre.
The thing I find now, what I really am enjoying, I've never been a person to say good morning, hello, kiss me foot, or any of that, but I feel really proud of myself because I'm saying good morning to people, and even at the shops I say I'm sorry, or if I bump them or something. I've never done that. So now I'm really happy because I didn't realise that I didn't speak to people.
The Northern Living Well program promotes independence in individuals by helping them develop the skills, providing them with knowledge and information to help them make informed choices, helping them in terms of building those small networks to begin with for people to expand on in the community.
Pam's next goal was computer lessons and then learning to read and write.
I've learnt to read books, and I read a real lot now, and I've got the computer. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really great.
Pam's interests at the time were computing. She was involved on the computer, and she had got some internet, but she identified that she needed to probably learn more of. Facebook is something Pam loves, and it helps her connect with her family in perhaps a different way than most people would, but at least it sort of keeps her in the loop of what's going on, and so that's something that's been fantastic for Pam.
I think it's one of those things, pure joy and well-being can't be measured on a graph, and it can't be measured by an assessment, because Mary is an older person. She still doesn't walk fast, and she most probably will never walk fast. But it's with the confidence that she walks and the fact that she can't wait to get to every session tells me that this is actually succeeding.
Actually, I'm not as good as I should be, but I'm a lot better than what I was. So the more I drive, the better I am.
Getting out into the therapy circuit has been fantastic for him, especially with the sun out, and his mood changes and he's very positive, and we can try different things and really try and improve both his confidence but also obviously his ability to walk better, and so it's been fantastic. And at the moment we're at the point where he is able to walk without the stick probably between 8 and 10 steps when he's really focused, and that improvement is that positive upward circle of improvement, because he sees that he's improving, and that confidence then improves as well, and that sense of he's getting somewhere.
Pam has actually been able to continue to grow. She's been continuing to make networks, and she's in a much better place now and is optimistic about where she's going to be in the future.
Mary's successes, big and small, do wonders for her self-esteem.
Every time I achieve a goal, I feel a winner. I feel great.
Coming here to the swim centre, she's taking not only control of her own well-being, but she now has something that is of her own, that she can own. And it's groovy, it's young, and it's good for her. By putting this program into place, Mary's able to go out and get her own groceries and choose her own items that she wants and needs in the home, and doesn't feel that she needs to ask anyone's permission.
Social connection enhanced Pam's quality of life.
Pam has actually been able to continue to grow. She's been continuing to make networks, and she's in a much better place now and is optimistic about where she's going to be in the future.